Welcome to the presentation on new program applications for private licensed schools. This presentation will cover the application form, all of the components of the application form. Please note that there is a $1,400 fee for each new program application. When you complete the application form, please complete each of the shaded boxes. You can tab into each of the boxes that you need to complete, type in the space provided, or embed a document, and we will cover the methodology for embedding a document in a few moments. Some of the cells populate into subsequent cells. So you will enter your school name only once and it will populate throughout the application. The same with your instructor names and your course names. If you want to change your school name or your instructor names or your course names, you need to go back to the original place where you entered the information. It cannot be changed in subsequent places in the application. This is a view of the application form. Note that the boxes are slightly darker green where you need to enter information, and note as well that there are tabs at the bottom of the sheet and you need to move through each of the tabs and enter information in each tab. If you need to enter more than one paragraph of information, we recommend that you embed a document instead of typing that information in. To embed a document, please embed it as an icon. If you embed the actual document, it will cover the full screen and make your application illegible. If you use an icon, only the symbol appears and the reader can click on the symbol to open the document. Please embed all of your documents in Word format. Please do not embed PDF files. Unfortunately, once a PDF is embedded in the Excel spreadsheet, it can't be opened on a Macintosh computer, which means the application can't be read by some of our board members. An embedded document appears as an icon, as you see on your screen, and that document can be opened by clicking on the icon. To embed a document, go to Insert, choose to insert an object, choose to create from File, click in the box to display as an icon, browse to choose your file from your own computer, and then click OK. This is a screen that shows the interface to embed a document. You can click Browse to select the file from your own computer, and always be sure to embed as an icon. On the PDE 3003 tab, you'll enter your director's name, the number of hours of instruction or credits, tuition, registration fees, whether you're awarding a diploma or a certificate, the start date. Please always be sure that the start date is after the board meeting when your application will be considered. And you will enter the entrance requirements. Please be very sure that your entrance requirements are adequate to be sure that everyone that you admit has the capacity to succeed with the curriculum that you offer. We often see programs proposed with inadequate clock hours of instruction because the school assumes that the students will have a foundation in the field or they will be particularly strong learners. You can not make that assumption unless you write it into your admission requirements some measure to ensure that the students have a background or skills. Please take care to create your curriculum so that it takes students from the level of the most minimum admission requirements and would enable them to achieve your objectives through your curriculum. The board considers that a diploma is the credential that should be awarded for a program that is made up of multiple courses. Usually a certificate is the credential that is awarded for one course, where you have only one course name on the PDE 3004 form and you have only one syllabus. This is not set in stone, but this is general guidance for the credential that you ought to offer for your program. Please note that a certificate is not the same as a certification. A certificate is the document that you award, the credential that you award when the student successfully completes your program. Certification is a credential awarded by a third party after meeting specific criteria. It might be completion of the academic program. Often it involves passing a test. But the school cannot issue certification. Certification is only issued by a third party. Please note that new programs cannot be degrees. If you are already approved to offer the specialized associate degree, you can submit a consolidated application to apply for a new program to award the specialized associate degree. All other degrees, the academic associate degrees, the AA, the AAS, require authorization as a college. Private licensed schools can award certificates, diplomas, and if approved, the specialized associate degree. Please note the difference between accreditation and licensure. You are applying for approval to offer a program under your license as a private licensed school, and that is your permission to legally operate as a school in Pennsylvania. Accreditation is a seal of quality that is optional and is provided by a third-party private agency that is approved by the U.S. Department of Education as an accrediting agency. Accreditation is the gateway to federal financial aid. It is not required. When you consider crafting your entrance requirements, please be very careful to be sure that all of the students that you will admit can reasonably be expected to succeed in your curriculum. Compare your entrance requirements with the reading level of your texts to be sure that students can read the textbooks. Consider using a reading test as an admission criteria to ensure that students who you admit have adequate reading skills to complete the curriculum. You will be asked to enter occupational skills in the box on the screen. Please enter a narrative or a list of the components of the occupational skills that the students will learn. Do not list jobs. List the actual skills that the students will acquire in your program. You will also be asked in another box to enter employment opportunities. This is the box where you want to enter job titles for which your graduates would be qualified. You will be asked to clarify if this program will be offered at any branch locations. Branch locations are off-site locations in the same county that would teach the entire program. If you will offer this program at a branch location, please provide the address of the branch location. You will also be asked to clarify if you will be using a remote facility for this program. A remote facility is an off-site training facility where a portion of the program is provided. It might be a driving range for a trucking program or a kitchen for a culinary arts program. Please note that a site visit is required for any new remote facilities, and that will require a $750 site visit fee. Please note the difference between a remote location and an externship site. At a remote location, your instructional staff provides instruction off-site, away from your school. At an externship site, the student is guided and oversight is provided by an actual professional in the workplace. You will be asked on the equipment tab to list all of the equipment that will be used in the program. Please list all of your equipment. If you have any doubt about whether it is equipment or supplies, list it. For the most part, equipment is used over and over again, and supplies are used once and then discarded. Please provide the specifications, the model number, the identifying information on each piece of equipment. You will be asked to enter your instructor names and the courses that each instructor will teach. Please note that you'll have to come back to this tab if you need to change the name of an instructor. Please list each instructor name on this form. Don't refer to the instructor qualification forms. The instructor names will self-populate from this list to the instructor qualification form. You will be asked to provide job opportunities to demonstrate that there is adequate employment opportunities for your graduates, that there is a job market in the field. Please note that you are also showing that your curriculum adequately prepares students for the jobs that are out there. And you are also showing that some training is needed for these jobs. So if the job advertisement says no experience or training required, then it's not an appropriate job ad to support your application. Likewise, if the job ad requires a degree, unless you require a degree for admissions, that is not an appropriate job ad to support your application. Do not include any job ads that require job experience unless you require job experience for admission. For the job ad, embed the actual job ad. Don't retype the information. Please embed it as a Word document. JPEGs are too big and will possibly make your application exceed the capacity of the site. Please don't embed PDFs because some board members cannot open them on Macintosh computers. Please be sure that all of your job ads show the name of the employer. Include the actual job ad embedded into your application. Don't just include a list of job openings. You can use letters from prospective employers. You can include the Occupational Outlook publication information for your field, but that alone does not provide adequate evidence of job opportunities. Please refer to Board Policy Memorandum number 74 for additional information on job opportunities. For each of your job opportunities, make sure that your admission requirements plus your curriculum produce a graduate that is eligible for the job that you have included as evidence in your application. On the PDE 3004 form, you will be asked to enter the course names for each of your courses, the clock hours or credit hours. If it is a distance education course, you'll be asked to enter the number of lessons. These course names will self-populate to the syllabi tab. Be sure that the information on the PDE 3004 form is completely consistent with all of your syllabi and with your catalog. This is a problem for many applicants, and it deserves some additional attention to be sure that all of your information is consistent across your application. You must provide one syllabus per course, so you will see that the course name appears on the syllabus tab, and you are expected to enter a syllabus for each of your courses. Each syllabus has to include all of the required elements. Please note that the outline of instruction must be very detailed, and note the sample that is provided on the website that shows an example of an acceptable syllabus. This syllabus is 4 pages long. All syllabi must include the course title, the objectives, the course description, the course schedule, the name of the instructor or a blank space for the name of the instructor, prerequisites for the course, and please note that prerequisites are different from admission requirements. Admission requirements are what the student needs to have in their background in order to be admitted to the school, to the program. Prerequisites are courses in your program that the student has to take before they take this course. Each syllabus should also contain your school policies, your specific policy on makeup work and whether there is any charge for makeup work, the grading system, the author, title, and publisher of each of your texts, and your software. Please provide an instructional outline of the material that will be taught in the course, and please note that this must be detailed. Consult the sample syllabus to understand the level of detail that is expected by the board. Don't forget to include a syllabus for your externship if your program has an externship. For your facility, you are asked to embed a floor plan. This does not need to be an architectural, professionally prepared floor plan. You can draw this yourself, but it must show the square footage of the instructional space, and it must show the locations of all major equipment. If this program will share space with other programs at your school, please provide a usage plan that will demonstrate how the space will be shared. You must provide a certificate of occupancy for any new remote locations. For the instructor qualification list, you will note that the instructor names have self-populated onto the qualification forms. Please complete all sections in each of the instructor qualification forms, and please be sure to check the bases that you have used to determine that this instructor is qualified in Section 6 of the form. Provide the documentation to support the qualifications that you have checked in Section 6. For the reading levels of your text, please list each text that will be used in the program. List the publisher and list the reading level for that text that you can obtain from the publisher, you can obtain from a reading level specialist, or you can use the Flesch-Kincaid method in Word. Type in good samples of a few paragraphs from the text and run the Flesch-Kincaid reading level analysis in Microsoft Word. For externships, there are 6 documents that are required. You must include a document that demonstrates the criteria you will use to select externship sites, a sample written agreement that you will complete with each externship site, a list of the responsibilities that the site will have, a list of the responsibilities that the school will have, the evaluation rubric that you will use, that you will give to the externship site to evaluate each of your extern students. And please be sure that you embed the externship syllabus in the syllabus section. Please be sure that if you use an externship, that it includes enough hours of externship to meet any licensure requirements or certification requirements. Please ensure that it requires adequate experience to compete for jobs in the field. But please be careful about turning your program into on-the-job training. You need to balance the externship with the classroom instruction to be sure that the students are getting adequate instruction and adequate hands-on experience. The school must supervise the externship, and it's highly recommended that the school visit students while they are on externship. You need to demonstrate that you have adequate sites lined up for the number of students that you will admit. And this is a very important detail because we have had issues with schools admitting more students than they have been able to place in externship sites. So you will be asked to provide letters of agreement from prospective sites to demonstrate that you have enough sites set up to accommodate all of the students that you will admit. It is okay to allow students to have a role in selecting their externship site, but please do not make it the student's responsibility to find their externship site. The externship evaluation rubric should include professional skills. Please do not have the student evaluated solely on soft skills, but include an evaluation of the actual professional skills they should be demonstrating in the externship. If you will be providing instruction by distance education, you are required to provide access to your curriculum. You should provide the URL and a username and password so that the board can look at the curriculum from the same viewpoint that students will experience it. At least 25% of the curriculum must be available for the board to evaluate. You should also list the equipment that students will need in order to access your LMS. You are asked to provide the school catalog. If it is available online, you can provide a link. If it is available as a document, you can embed it. You will want to save your application with a unique file name, and that file name should include a reference to your school name. It can be an acronym or some reference that indicates the name of the school that is submitting the application. Do not use any punctuation in your file name. And we ask that when you submit revisions of the application, that you use the exact same file name that you used to originally submit it. Programs will be submitted to the SharePoint site. The instructions for submitting the application to the SharePoint site are in the Instruction tab of the application with a link to the SharePoint site. All users can submit the application using a user ID of PLSAPP and the password PLS number apply 1. You will click to add the document. You will select the document from your own computer, and you will see a screen that asks you to enter some basic information on the application. This screen has a red warning sign that says, please complete this information. If you don't complete that information, your application will go to the wrong place in SharePoint, and while it can be retrieved, it's not immediately visible to staff. It is possible to establish a unique login to SharePoint. The only advantage to doing that is that you can see applications that you have submitted. By using the standard username of PLSAPP, you have easy access and you have complete security. No one but staff can see your submission. In order to set up your own account, you have to register. It can cause delays. You can see your own applications, but you can still not see anyone else's applications. This is a screenshot of the SharePoint site where you will submit your application. And you will choose Browse for the file name and click OK, and that will take you to this screen with the red warning letters that say you must complete this form. Please do complete that form, otherwise the application will go to the wrong place. After you submit the application, staff will review the application with a fine-tooth comb, and they will send you a letter that will list any revisions that you need to make to the application. You will be given exactly 10 days to make those revisions, and this is set by board policy, so we can't be flexible on the 10-day corrective action period. Our deadlines for submission have to be rigid, and if a deadline is missed, we cannot process the application for the next board meeting. The application can still be processed, but for the subsequent meeting 3 months later. This is the schedule of board meeting dates for 2019 with the corresponding submission dates for the submission of original applications. You'll note that applications for consideration at the May 16th board meeting must be submitted by March 8th. Some of the common problems that schools encounter in submitting new program applications is an incomplete application form, a late check. Please be sure you mail your check prior to the deadline, as it must be received in this office by the application submission deadline. Please be sure that your application is completely consistent from start to finish. What can be especially problematic is if you make a change After you have started to prepare the application, you need to be very careful to ensure that you make that change throughout the application. If you have experience in another state, don't expect the Pennsylvania process to be the same. Take the time to learn the requirements of the Pennsylvania board. Don't expect the board to change a requirement to meet the way you have proposed to present the application. Please present the application in accordance with the instructions and in accordance with the requirements of the board. If you are submitting an application form in conjunction with a new license application for a brand new school, one program application is included in that fee. But if you are submitting this as a new program at an existing school, there is a $1,400 fee per program. Please note that you cannot submit more than 3 programs for consideration at any board meeting. When you're submitting payment, please make sure there is some indication of your school name on the check. Make the check payable to the Pennsylvania Department of Education and mail it to the address on your screen. Let me emphasize the checks must be in the office by the submission deadline. We recommend that you mail payment a week in advance. Do not mail the check on the submission deadline because it will arrive after the deadline and you will have missed the deadline. All revisions to the application must be submitted by the deadline that will be in your corrective action letter. You can reach the Division of Higher Education with any questions. The division can be reached at 717-783-8228. If you have any questions about preparing an application for a new program, please check our website or contact the division. Thank you very much.